Now let's see a declaration called important. So the syntax is something like exclamation mark important, and then this is used to make a particular property value the most specific rule, which means that generally the property and its value that will be decided by the specificity, right? But let's say you want to override that specificity, and you want to make it surpass the specificity of everything else. Then you can write something like important, and it will work like this: that let's say I know that my specificity of class thing is more. So if I write color red, and then I write, even if I write div color blue, then I know that this blue thing will not be applied, this red thing will be applied, because specificity of my div is 010 and div is 001, and that's why this is higher, and that's why color red, it will be red. But if I want to force that you know what, irrespective of the specificity, use this please, then you can use something like exclamation mark important after that thing, just before exclamation mark, before semicolon, and whatever after, at the end of the declaration. Then you can, this will take priority over everything else. Okay, so let's take an example. Just take an example of div only. So my div and div, that will work, right? So let's take simply my div. Okay, and right now no color is there, so it will be black, that is fine. But my device said that color should be red, and let's say again I write div and color is blue, and obviously it will be red, because even if it is written later, the specificity of my div is higher, and that's why it will be red. But you know what, I can force this by writing something called exclamation mark important, and then I have a refresh, you see it is blue, even if this blue is part of a selector which is having lower specificity because of this thing. And it does not matter, like it does not matter that let's say I write here font size uh, 30 pixel, right? And here I write font size let's say 10 pixel or 20 pixel, right? Then you see that the font size will be still 30 pixel. You understand? If I uncomment, if I comment this, then this is becoming a smaller. You see, this is becoming smaller. This means that 20 is not applied, this thing is applied, 30 is applied, 30 is applied, you see. So it's not that the whole space, whole declaration block and whole rule is replaced. No, 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 just wherever you have applied important, only that thing is overwritten, and other things are working same, like specificity and all these things, right? So here also the font size is still 30, because this thing is not taken into consideration. This thing is taken into consideration because this specificity is higher. Again, if you want to force this also, then you write here also important, right? And then this 20 pixel will be taken, and then this will be smaller. Okay, so this is important. And more importantly, we can override important by including another important in the selector. Okay, so mostly like everything is overwritten by important, but actually important can also be overwritten by another important, you see. So if I write, let's say color is blue, and then obviously this thing was not being taken care of, right? But if I write important, then obviously now it is blue. But if I write again something like this, and then here I take green, then this important will actually override this important, because its specificity is same, like 001 001, right? Specificity is same, and let's firstly remove this important, right? And then you see that this green will not apply, right? Only blue will apply, because this is important. But important can be overwritten by important if you write another important which is at the end. So now this is green, and again whatever comes last, that will be taken, right? So both are important, but now earlier green was there, that's why green was the last one. Now blue is the last one, that's why it should be blue, right? So you can overwrite important by another important if the same specificity, or or something with higher specificity. So let's say you write something like id. So now no need of second div specificity, but let's say I have id is equal to my id, and right now it will be green. That is fine. Right now it will be green, but let's say I write something like this, and color red, and color blue, let's say. Then do you think what will be the color? The color will not be blue. The color will be still green. Why? Because yeah, I know that this color is inside this where specificity is high. This is the highest specificity 100, but still color property I have important here, which means that this thing will every specificity will not bother. The simply wherever important is there, that will. However, as we earlier saw that if we duplicate this thing with some other color, then whatever is coming last with the same specificity, that thing will apply. Similarly, if I again use important here, then you see that actually here also you have marked important, here also you have marked important. Now whichever is the higher specificity important, that will take precedence, right? So here my div id selector, that is having higher precedence, and that's why now this will become blue. Okay. And at the end, I would just say that you should never use this exclamation mark important, because it makes CSS debugging very difficult. So just you understand the specificity rules and use the normal CSS so that you can debug using standard specificity rules. So in the very rare situations where you don't have control over the CSS written by somebody others or something, then only use exclamation mark important. And in 99.99% cases, you don't need that, and that's why you never try to use this exclamation mark important. But it is there that somewhere if you want to use that, you can use that. Or if you're reading somebody else's written CSS and you see something like this, then you should understand that what they're trying to do. Okay, so this is a syntax for overwriting specificity and all that. So finally, we have seen that these are the three factors: the source order, specificity, and importance. And this is the order in which it is taken together. The later one is more important, and they overrule the earlier ones, right? So we saw that simple inline rules will take the most preference, and after that the source order of internal style sheet, external style sheet, whatever wherever be the style sheet, but whatever is coming the last is taking priority, and that is called the source order. And however, all those things don't matter if specificity is in picture. Specificity is there, then whatever is having the more specificity, that is going to take precedence. And lastly, we saw that importance, which is exclamation mark important declaration, if that thing is there, then whatever be the specificity in source order, this thing will take more precedence, provided that again the specificity is not conflicting, which means that if again two things are having important and one thing is having more specificity, then again that will take priority. Okay, so this is the order in which things are going to happen. And this section was very important, so we need to revise this regularly. Otherwise, in order to debug some CSS styles that where why it is not working, I'm applying the styles but it is not working, you can inspect the element and all, see all those things, but you can only understand those things why that is not working when you understand what is precedence, what is cascading, what is specificity, what is inheritance. If you understand these things, then only you can debug your CSS successfully. Okay, this is one of the references which you can look for additional learning and resources. Okay, so that's all for this section. See you in the next one. Thank you.